Hey guys, so I'm back after somewhat of a hiatus in October. I did have a little bit of content that I'm going to share with you guys, an IGTV post that I did. I'm going to throw that up on the website, but like I promised for November, I wanted to give you guys some tips on how to manage your boundaries with your family or even your friends during this holiday season, because what I don't want is for you guys to flip tables at the family function. I don't want you to rip your auntie's lace front off if she comes at you sideways. I don't want you to smack Nana's teeth out if she says something about the macaroni and cheese that you made. I just don't want these things to happen because I feel like it's not conducive to a good family environment. So, first things first, right? I plan on giving you guys all these good tips and tricks on, setting boundaries. But I think first and foremost, what we need to kind of get out of the way is knowing that you can set boundaries. I think that's where a lot of people kind of mess up. And I say mess up meaning that, I think that's the reason why a lot of people don't set boundaries, because they don't realize they can. And in this case, I'm talking more about like family, right? So, when we're younger, and especially if you are, of the black community, you are taught that you are supposed to respect your elders, and you're not really supposed to voice your own opinion. You're not supposed to go against the grain, kind of what they says goes. And that's not really a healthy dynamic. And I don't think that a lot of us start to realize that until we get older. But we've been kind of set in that motion for so long, believing that we don't have the right to stand up for ourselves, that, when the time comes, you just don't, because you don't know how. And no one's ever told you that that's okay. So my thing is this: you have to realize that you can and absolutely should set boundaries with whomever you need to set them with. It's your right. It's absolutely your right. And I don't care how old you are. You can be 27, you can be 47. You absolutely have the right to tell people how to treat you, because you have to. You have to tell people how to treat you, or else they're just going to treat you how they feel. And oftentimes that's not really the best thing. I know for me, kind of what it took, aside from therapy, of course, is kind of seeing my parents as adults. And when I say that, I mean seeing them as more than just mommy and daddy, or, grandma and grandpa, whatever. Seeing them as actual physical people, the same way that you would want someone to see you as a grown human person. And, kind of removing that title from them removes a little bit of that reverence that I guess you have for them. And I'm not saying it all to disrespect any of your family members. We're doing this so that that doesn't happen. But I'm just saying that, kind of removing those titles helps you realize that they're just a person just like you are. And they're not above correction just like you aren't. So in knowing that and kind of learning that, that's how you find the ability to set those boundaries that you so desperately need with whoever. So first of all, I just want you to know that it's your right. It's absolutely your right. And number two, I want you to know that your parents or whomever are just people like you are, and they are not above, reprimand. If your aunt says something rude to you about your weight, because we always hear that when we go around family for the holidays. It's two things that family will always like push your buttons about. It's your weight and your relationship status, right? So if your aunt has something to say about the fact that you've gained some weight over the year, or your uncle is wondering, when are you gonna bring a girl, a boy, whomever home, and it's not even their business, you have the right to say that. You have the right to say that. And it's all in how you say things, because like I said, you don't have to disrespect anybody, but you have the right to say, that's a little personal. That's something I'd rather not talk about, you know, and just let that be that. Because you don't have to. You don't have to. You don't owe anybody any explanation or any answers that you feel like they're not entitled to. And like I said, once you remove those titles, it gets a little bit easier, because it's just like, if a stranger asks you something like that, you probably would go off, or you probably would be like, why do you feel so comfortable in asking me that? And I understand that it's family, and I understand that we have that closeness and connection where people do step on boundaries because we are so close, but that's not an excuse. That's not an excuse for you to, go to, family dinners and leaving, feeling bad about yourself. Or, having someone ask you a question that you have, a certain insecurity about, and that making you feel worse when you've gone home. It's not worth that. It's definitely not worth that. So you have to know that you are able at any time, at any age, to respectfully create those boundaries. I would say, if there are certain things that that a certain family member does, and you have the idea that they're probably going to do that, this season, write it down. Write down what it is they do. Write down why it makes you feel bad, and even write down a response to it. Because sometimes in the moment, and even for me, going to therapy, like, I've been able to set boundaries better, but sometimes things will catch me off guard, like completely off guard. And I might not know what to say in the moment. But if you have an idea of something that could come up, write that down and figure out a way to, have somebody respect that boundary. Say what you need to say it respectfully, but already have that in your arsenal, so when that person comes with the bullshit, you can already be like, we're done here. That's it. I don't feel need to answer that. That's none of your business. Whatever it is that you feel like you need to say, you already have in the back of your mind, so you're not just stuck, or you have to do a fake laugh, or you go to another room. You can address that person properly in that moment, so they know not to try it again. So I wanted to keep this really short and sweet. Like I said, I have more tips and tricks for you guys throughout the holiday season, so well into December. But I just want to let you guys know that the first step is knowing that you can do this. I know that a lot of us don't have good experience period with exercising our boundaries, and it's something that everybody could benefit from. I don't care if it's the holiday season or not. Like, people are habitual line steppers of your boundaries all the time. So if you need to practice now, go ahead, because family is usually the first to try it. But just know that it is your right, and as long as you come at people as respectfully as you can, you have the right to set those boundaries. So until next time, you guys, I know y'all probably see my bumper in my back seat. That's a story for another time. If you want to know about it, feel free to leave a comment or ask me in my DMs on Instagram. But yeah, that's it for right now, and I'll be back with more content later on in the month. So I will see you guys soon. Bye.